All right, so we said slope was all these different things. So now we are going to do our slope foldable. So what I want you to do is fold it like this, and then you're going to open it backwards. So open it not like a book, kind of the direction it doesn't. It's not natural. And then I want you to get out your badges, please, because our badges are going to be what we use to draw these, make sure the lines are straight. So how can I draw a positive slope? What's a positive slope going to look like? Yep. The line is going up. So I'm going to take my badge and just draw the line. We're just drawing a sketch right now, so it doesn't have to be. Make sure your line goes up. What about a negative slope? It's going to go down. So draw a straight line going down. Any questions? Yes. Oh, you good? Are we good with positive and negative? So one of the first things I want you to do whenever it's asked, a question's asking for slope on a graph is look, is it positive or negative? Because right away, if it's going up, can't you eliminate all your negative answers? And vice versa. If it's going down, can't you eliminate all the positive answers? What about 0 and undefined? These two people always get mixed up. They are both straight. Perfect. And the way that I remind kids, there's two different ways. 0, if I were to draw a Z, do you agree it ends flat? Undefined, if I were to draw a U, do you agree it ends going up? So that's kind of how I remember what the difference is. The other thing is, if you have a heartbeat, if your heartbeat is 0, what does that look like on the monitor? Flat line. So 0 slope is a straight flat line. An undefined slope, meaning is straight up and down. Y'all, this is 8 points on your test. That makes sense? Could we draw those or match them appropriately to the right one? Perfect. All right, those are the different types of slopes. So let's close our slope foldable. And now we're going to open up and we are going to solve this 4 different ways. I'm going to keep it like this so it's not too much. But the first 2 ways we are going to do this is to how to find a slope from a graph and a table. From a graph is rise over run. What does rise over run mean? Yep, how is it moving? So how much do you rise and how much do you run? You need 2 points. I'm giving you 2 points here. If you don't get the 2 points, then you need to find 2 perfect points. And then we're going to draw a triangle. And it's going to be a right triangle. Is this slope, first thing I want you to ask yourself, is this slope positive or negative? Why? It's going up. So automatically, what should your answer be? A positive number, right? Eliminate the negative numbers if it's multiple choice. How much is it rising? So this is going up 3. And how much is it running? Close. 5. It's running 5. And then in your calculators, you might not need to every time, but in your calculators, what I would like you to do is just divide that. Make sure it doesn't reduce. What is 3 over 5? So for you guys, your calculators are different. Normally you use Desmos, you do this. For y'all, can you please do control? That's the gray button, divide. And that'll give you a division symbol. On Desmos, when you're doing this, there's a little button right here to make it a fraction. Slope should only be a fraction. Control divide. What is 3 divided by 5? What do we get as our answer? It's just 3 over 5. It doesn't reduce. Should this be a positive 3 over 5 or a negative 3 over 5? Positive, because we said it was a positive answer. Perfect. And we're done with that question. Do I have any questions? I want you to do the next one on your own. Go. Does anybody need help working the calculator? I'll give you one more minute. Box your answer when you think you have it. Okay. Did we draw our triangle above it or below the line? How many of y'all did above it? Okay, how many of you did below? Doesn't matter. It really doesn't. It's up to you. It's not going to make a difference. What is going to matter is as long as it's a right triangle, you're good. The other thing I need you to look at right away is what type of line is this? Positive or negative? Why is this a negative line? Look at your answer. Is your answer negative? Perfect. All right. So if you drew the box like this, I actually probably would have drawn it below. It doesn't matter, but if you were to draw it like this, please make sure you're doing rise over run. So you need to do this side first. How is it going down? It's going down 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over 6. Y'all agree? And if you put in your calculator, what is 3 over 6? 1 over 2. So is my answer 1 over 2? Why not? It's negative. Don't forget to add that negative because it's going down. And that's it. How do we feel about graphing lines? We're okay? All right, perfect. Now we are going to move on to tables. How to find the slope from a table. What do our notes say to do? And what is this little symbol called? Do y'all know? Not a square. That's called delta. It's a Greek alphabet. Delta just means change. So how is your y's changing? How is your x changing? So we do this by doing, I call them carrots. Did y'all do that in middle school? How do your y's change? How do you go from 2 to 5? Plus 3. This is your delta y. It's how your y's changed. How do you go from -2 to +3? This is your delta x. Do I have any questions on how I got those numbers? And if you're unsure, you can kind of use a number line to count. If you're at -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. How many is that? Okay. And then to find my m, I'm going to do delta y over delta x. What is my delta y? 3. What is my delta x? +3 over +5. What is 3 over 5? It just stays the same. And you can check in your calculator for that. I want you to try the next one. Go. How did y'all go from 7 to -2? Minus 9. That makes sense? How do you go from 0 to 6? Plus 6. And then how do I find my slope? Delta y over delta x. -9/6. And then, of course, check it in your calculator. I do not want a decimal. And the answer was what? -3/2. How do we feel about these two methods? Do we feel like if we had a quiz on them, we would be able to answer it? Remember that you get to use your notes for your quizzes, so please make sure you're taking good notes. Okay? Any questions? All right. What if I give you 2 points? So somebody last period told me, well, Miss Alvarez, technically these 2 points, can I make a table and do delta y over delta x? Definitely. If that's how you want to do this, go ahead. But I'm going to show you another way. But this table method works for both of these. Okay? All right. So the next method I'm going to show you is slope formula. Y'all have seen slope formula before? Y'all have seen this before? All right. Let's go back to what I was talking about earlier. I care a lot about your work. How can you show work for slope formula? You can label. Do y'all agree that's an X? And it's the first one. Do you agree this is a Y? And it's the first one. And do you agree this is my second X and my second Y? And I'm just going to plug into this formula. My formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. What's my y2? Minus, what's my x2? Sorry, I said that wrong. What's my x1 or y1? 5. Thank you. X2 just happens to be the same thing. What is my x2? 5. Minus, what's my x1? 3. And what am I going to do with this? Literally plug it into your calculator. So, in order to do this in Desmos, if y'all can just look up real quick, just so you know, in Desmos, if you hit the divided by symbol first, it'll give you the fraction. What do y'all got to do in those calculators to get that fraction bar? There you go. So, and then just type it in. -1 minus 5, 5 minus 3. What is my slope here? What is it? -3. So m equals -3. Could I have done the table right here and got the same thing? Sure, if I divided those, I'd get the same thing. So it doesn't matter which method you use. Okay, write that down. And then I want you to do the one below it. Go. All right, what's different about this problem? Anybody notice anything different? We have two negatives, right? Your calculators are really nice and really cool, and they actually will be okay if you put two negatives. All right, but what do we know about two negatives? Two negatives make a, so you can actually change this to a positive. If either way, you can type in the two negatives or you can make it a positive. It'll give you the same answer. So what is my slope here? Negative 1/5. Is that what y'all got? Okay. Do I have any questions about finding slope from 2 points? Which way do y'all like better? Do y'all like slope formula better or do y'all like the table better? Okay, some of you like, it's up to you. Could you do slope formula with this? Could you do x1, y1, x2, y2? Sure. These are just two different methods, whatever you like better. Okay. Last but not least, this is my favorite. How do you find the slope from an equation? What if I were to give you y equals 2x plus 8? What is my slope? Well, y equals mx plus b. What's the slope? Yeah, from there. Hold on, sorry. What's the slope here? M. M is your slope. So please make sure you only put the number. Don't tell me the x. The slope is just the m. So y equals 2x plus 8. What's my slope? Just 2. So m equals 2. Am I going to give you something that easy on the test? Maybe. Why not? Probably will look a little bit more like the second one. So be careful. What's my slope on this second one? Ooh. Be careful. Is it 4? No, everybody always tells me, oh, it's 4 because it's the first number. 4 is not with x. It's not 4. Is it 2/3? Don't forget the negative in front. It's negative 2/3. You see how that can be a little bit tricky with that negative? Okay, we are done with our notes today. Now, what we're going to typically do in this class is we're going to take notes like we just did, and then we're going to practice. You have about 20-ish minutes to practice, so I'm going to come give you that. And I think I gave you 2 points on all of these. Be careful. I know, I'm sorry. These graphs are a little bit tiny. So just be careful when you're counting. You can work with a partner or you can work by yourself. It's up to you. But you have the rest of the class period to do this worksheet. Given how much time we have, if y'all can listen real quick. I want you to do 4 on the front. You only have to choose 4 of them. And then on the back, I want you to do 4 as well, but I want you to do 2 tables and 2 of the bottom ones. Okay? All right.